Hello and welcome. Well, Elon Musk's SpaceX SN11, it's had a catastrophic failure. Now, some environmentalists out there might say, well, why are we allowing this amount of fuel to be spent into the atmosphere? And I think they have a point. But we also have to remember that we have learned so much technology, positive technology, through space exploration. And if we're going to understand our own planet better, we need to be able to understand the universe. So, before I get into it, don't forget to click like and subscribe, and maybe that little bell icon, because then you'll get a notification every time I upload another video. So, Elon Musk's rocket, it didn't crash. It literally, it pretty much exploded, as it seems. There is no real evidence of that as yet, but as Elon Musk said himself, we'll have a look at the bits. That's one way of saying it, isn't it, really? So, this article here is in the Sky News, and don't get me wrong, I'm not big on Sky News, but I have to admit they form up quite well on my videos. And as long as I can trust the article, well then, quite frank, I'm happy to read it. So, SpaceX, another failed landing. Don't forget they want to send people up in this rocket. God, I'll be at the back of the queue. So, another failed landing for Starship as rocket breaks apart. But thick fog hides the cause of the explosion. Elon Musk says SpaceX will have to examine the pieces from the exploded spacecraft to find out what went wrong. Now, can you remember the shuttle that exploded because of an O-ring? It could be as simple as that. SpaceX lost another Starship here seen launching in thick fog in a botched landing onto. So that's a bit unfair. Botched landing. That imply that they've actually done something seriously wrong. Well, not be funny. The I's would have been dotted and the T's would have been crossed. When you're dealing with anything like this, there's just so much that could go wrong. And not be funny, but a lot of it isn't even in your control. You can do whatever unless you can completely rebuild and retest that spacecraft every single time, well then, quite frankly, there's stuff going to go wrong. And the idea of putting people in it doesn't really ring true to me at all. Especially civilians. You sort of buy a ticket to go up in SpaceX. Anyway, SpaceX has suffered another failed landing for its prototype Starship spacecraft as the rocket broke up in thick fog right before touchdown in Texas. So they had their sequence of events until the point they were going to do a landing, and then it just, it gave up the goose, basically. This was the fourth full-scale stainless steel model to launch since December to an altitude of more than 6 miles. Now, what they were trying to do, they were testing their flux capacitor, and they want to get to 66 miles per hour. And they need the stainless steel body to disperse the flux. No. That's obviously Back to the Future. No? Okay. I'll digress. So anyway, the previous 3 exploded at touchdown or shortly afterwards. According to SpaceX founder Elon Musk, something significant happened shortly after landing burn. Yeah, no kidding, eh? But it wasn't immediately clear what that something significant actually was. That's vague. Other than an explosion of debris scattering as far as 5 miles from the landing site. Now, here's a video of the actual progress of that particular flight. And you can see here, you see all the fins. See they're moving there? They're meant to do that because that's how they control it. A bit like an aeroplane. Ailerons, and rudders and what have you. And elevons. Don't forget elevons. So it's a very, very... Just say that, can you move just gently? Just very, very gently moving. And this is at the stage of horizontal flight before its landing. And it seems to be always at the landing stage is the problem. It basically doesn't land, it just, or if it doesn't make the land, it don't even get anywhere near the ground or it hits it. So they have got some things to iron out. Now, they got to a point where the actual feedback from the footage, the video cams froze. Everything froze at this point here. And they pretty much they didn't really lose control or anything like that at that point. It was just a case of they lost all feed to the point of nothing at all, right to the end, and that had already been it's already in bits. So thick fog obscured most views of the attempted landing sequence from the ground. Why are they flying this thing in thick fog? If you want to learn by it, you want to see it. It doesn't make any sense. You can forgive the fact that it blew up, because that's likely to happen. They're testing them and things. 158 odd million quid every time, but they're testing it. You're going to have this. We're going to have these problems. But to me, it seems absolute like madness is why on earth would you launch it in thick fog? Makes no sense whatsoever. Anyway, let's get past that. Advert. Anyway. Video from an onboard camera cut out almost 6 minutes into the flight before pieces of the spacecraft and the sounds of small explosions began raining down across the launch site. Should know what it was once we can examine the bits later. Yeah, we should know what it was once we examine the bits later today, Elon Musk said. So, yeah, it's well, they'll keep on trying. So anyway, the company is currently getting through prototypes of its spacecraft at a fairly rapid rate. Its last test of the model SN10 took place in early March and actually successfully landed before exploding minutes later. Get out quick! Oh, God. Oh, dear. I wonder if they've got ejector seats. So, anyway, but the speed of the company's building and testing the spacecraft suggests it won't be completely disheartened by the failure. The test of Tuesday's rocket SN11 had seen the spacecraft taking itself to an altitude of 10 kilometres, 6.2 miles, before coming back down to land, although it appeared to blow up before making it back down. Starship is being developed by a billionaire entrepreneur, Musk's private space company, to carry humans and 100 tons of cargo on future missions to the Moon and Mars. He's thinking ahead, isn't he? Starship, the spacecraft itself, and the launch vehicle, called Super Heavy, were unveiled at the company's facility in Boca Chica in Texas in September 2019. Starship is designed to carry a crew and cargo to the Moon, Mars, or anywhere else in the solar system, and land back on Earth perpendicularly instead of horizontal, Musk said. So this is a big deal. This is a big deal. But this is a stage. This is a learning curve. They'll get there. They will. They'll get this fine-tuned and they'll get it sorted. And they'll find out what these problems are. They'll iron them out. But every time, they have a failure, $158 odd billion. Yeah. Huge amount of money, but I suppose Elon Musk, with his Tesla cars, can afford it. Dear me. Yeah. It feels like a huge waste of money to somebody who hasn't got any, to be honest. But I suppose if you got it, and others in the future hopefully will benefit, because we can criticise the fact that he's pumping masses of CO2 into the atmosphere, and he is, but we will learn for the better. We will learn how to deal with other problems, other situations from the education, from developing things like this. Yeah. Oh, I hope so anyway. It's got to be worth it, isn't it? Otherwise, what is, really? I don't know. Shall we just live in utopia? Well, that'd be quite nice as well. But I suppose on the end of the day, what we have to do is we have to learn by our mistakes, and move forward. We've got to look for solutions to problems. And anyway, thank you for coming and watching my little video. And I like to actually think about the environment in a way, in a practical kind of way that we can benefit from. Because you're never going to get people on side, the human race on side of doing something about global warming unless we offer it in a way that is practical. If we keep bashing people and tell them don't do this and don't do that, they'll never come on side. We've got to warm them to the idea of looking after our planet is a good idea. Not just tell them that you shouldn't do this and shouldn't do that. We need to caress people. Let's caress some people. Yeah. So don't bash them over the head with a cricket bat if you see them putting the recycling in the wrong bin. Anyway, thank you for watching, and don't forget to click like and subscribe, and maybe that little bell icon, because then you get a warm fuzzy feeling in your pocket every time I upload another video. And this is a really young channel, it's got hardly any subscribers, as you probably already noticed. So I really appreciate it if you subscribe, but also really appreciate if you could share my videos and that as well. So, thank you for watching. Oh, I want to see that rocket again now. Oh, where was it? Oh, let's go back. Oh, look at this. Ooh, it's like a giant firecracker. Ta-ta.